Okay, so once you have the idea of how vectors look like, okay, so vectors has length and it has direction. So now that you know that we indicate vectors using a column, and what does the two numbers on the column represent? Okay, you will be asked to calculate the magnitude. That means how long is that vectors. So the length of the vectors has a symbol. So generally, like we already know that a vectors will look like a column metric. So when we want to indicate magnitude, the symbol is two vertical bar. So this will be the symbol for magnitude. So it will be a proper symbol. Okay, this is the formula here. The formula is a Pythagoras theorem. If you take a look. So you take the numbers and you form a Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so why is the magnitude a Pythagoras theorem? So if you recall how you drew your vectors just now. So for example here, if I want to find this length, I can just take the horizontal 2 units and the vertical 3 units and do a Pythagoras theorem. So that's how the Pythagoras comes about. So the magnitude of vectors is like a Pythagoras theorem with the column vector. Okay, so I will show a very simple example here. So if you look at example 1a, we got a vector that is 3, 4. So if you want to know how does a 3, 4 vector look like, you can do something like you take a starting point, you think about 3 units on the right. So this is 3 units on the right. And then the 4 is 4 units up. So 3 units and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is like Q. So this is the magnitude. So I like to know how long is this. So in terms of Pythagoras theorem, okay, you can see, you can just use the Pythagoras theorem. So the magnitude that we are interested in is simply just 3 square plus 4 square. So you will get a 25. So that is a 5 unit vector. Okay, so that is a very direct one. Okay, but sometimes we have something like this. So they gave us two vectors. They gave us a vector A, and then they gave us a vector B. And your job is to calculate this. So this means that you would like to calculate the magnitude of A plus B. So if you would like to calculate the magnitude of A plus B, so first step, you got to do A plus B first. Then you apply the formula. Okay, so I show you the correct one first, and I show you sometimes what some students can do. So I should add the vector first. So adding the vector is like your matrices. You add according to the position. Top plus top, bottom plus bottom. Then you find the magnitude. So I'm going to find the magnitude. So I'm going to find the magnitude, and I'm going to do a Pythagoras theorem. And then I will give it as a 3SF. Okay, so that is the correct method. So some students, right, will do wrongly. Some students will go and find, so some students will do this. They go and find the individual magnitude first. And then they try adding them up. So that will be wrong. So some students will do something like this. So then they will do like this. So whoever do this, right, you will actually get a different value. So you get 8.07. Okay. So if they wanted you to do this, they will have say find the value of this plus this. That means, right, this one you add the individual magnitude. So there is a difference. So don't make that kind of mistake. Otherwise, length is magnitude of a vector is actually a very easy thing to do. Okay, so most students will be okay with this, unless you somehow forgot formula. But if you have a good understanding of vectors, the idea of Pythagoras should be in your head. So this part is one of the basic formula for vectors, magnitude of vectors.